Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's but wait. Is it Thursday? Oh, it's Thursday morning. Good morning, everybody. Um, and I'm not sure, Chris, if I sound a little bit croaky this morning, but there's still a little bit coffee, but I'm good. I'm getting so much better. So thank you for everybody who sent me healing. Thank you for everybody who sent me all these well wishes. Obviously, it's working. Before we begin, it is our Thursday show. The spirit world sees all, and do they ever? Anyway, just FYI, in case anybody thinks they're on their own in their house, or they're kicking the cat or throwing the dog out or whatever it is we're not supposed to do, the spirit world does see all. A bit scary, really, right? Anyway, before we begin, I'd like to say first of all good morning to Grey Eagle, who is standing to my right side, and he's laughing about kicking the cat, because I would never kick a dog anyway, although my neighbor once kicked my beautiful Cachuro. She didn't think I'd seen her, but I did. Not a good thing to do. Anyway, but moving forward, right. So first of all, we say good morning to Greg. He's laughing at me because I've just lost the plot for a minute. We're saying good morning to Chris, who is wherever she is and doing a great job. And good morning to all of you who are joining. Please remember, this show is about all of you. This is your opportunity to ask questions. It's your opportunity to be, sort of, if you want to get involved, it's your opportunity to get involved. It's your opportunity to make comments. It's your opportunity to suggest certain subjects that we might talk about. And I think this is the moment when, and we'll do it again a little bit later, but if you've got a pencil and paper, I suggest you, or a computer where you type stuff in, I'm going to suggest you get ready for this information. So we've got quite a bit going on in the next few weeks. Chris, why don't you enlighten us here?
Absolutely. So on October 30th, which is a Thursday at 11 a.m., you're going to have the Everything is Attitude show with Al. On October 31st, which is a Friday, is Halloween. So you've got your Halloween spooktacular for your cracking up. You're going to be speaking live in Venice on November 14th through the 16th for the A Journey from Grief Toward Joy event. And then on December 13th.
Let me just say that's live, and I will be, I'll be live. I'll be there Friday night and Saturday morning, and then I'm going to be there Saturday after, in the afternoon, or late afternoon, early evening, to eat pizza with anybody who wants to eat pizza with us, which will be a real opportunity for you to get you'll have me live, you'll get me, and we can have some great discussions, and we might even have a story time or two. You never know what's going on there. Sorry, go ahead, Chris. And then
on December 13th, you have your virtual event, Grey Eagle Speaks. So all the information's on your website on the events page.
Okay, the last Grey Eagle Speaks, the last time we did this, we try and do it once a year. It's a very rare thing that we do. We haven't been doing it long. We probably had maybe 4 or 5 of these events. I can't remember. But the last time we did this event last year, what happens is that basically Grey Eagle uses my physical body, and he comes through and he talks to us and he tells us things, right? And last year, I'm going to say about half an hour before we started the show, we were ready to start the show, my grandson Reese, who you all know, he's my darling boy. He called me to say, I hope it goes okay, Mosey, and do you blah blah. And I'm saying, you know, he's asking me what actually happens then. And I told him about Grey Eagle. And at some point, he looks at me because we're FaceTiming. He looks at me. He says, Mosey, will Jesus be there? And I said, well, darling, I'd love it if he was, but he isn't usually. And because he knows I talk to, he is my Lord. Other people have other spiritual teachers, advisors, and so on and so forth. But it happens that Jesus and I have a great relationship. So I like to think so anyway. And so, but I said to Reese, I said, I'm not sure, darling. I don't think so, because he's not usually there, but I don't think so. But it made me stop and think, wouldn't that be great? But of course, I never expected it. And so we start off, and people are there and they're ready and they're listening to Grey Eagle, and he has such words of wisdom, and people are able to on these things, they're able to ask him direct questions, and he will answer the question directly back to you. So you're basically literally hearing it from the horse's mouth, and he's not offended by the fact that I might imply that he's a horse. With you know, it's just that saying. And so we go through, and it's working wonderfully, and we've got lots of people and we've got lots of questions. And then, to my astonishment, amazement, and absolute joy, there to my left side stands Jesus Christ. And I have Grey Eagle on my right side, I have Jesus on my left side, and then he being Jesus starts to talk and answers questions and gives us the most amazing information. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, including me. It was, Chris, it wasn't it something. It was just absolutely stunning. So
I agree, absolutely.
I can't promise that he will be there again this year. I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed and say, you know, hopefully, but I can't ever dictate these things. But it is a phenomenal experience for those people who've experienced it. I mean, we had so many people write in, and so many people tell us what an absolutely wonderful thing it was. And so that is our Grey Eagle Speak, which is December the 13th. So, okay, so that's just before Christmas. So we've got lots and lots going on. Now, Chris mentioned that there is an event on Thursday, whereas we would normally have this show, The Spirit World Sees All, we're actually doing something else, but we may then decide to continue after that. After we've done an hour of that, we may decide to continue to go for a further hour to do our normal show where you all get to ask questions and all the rest of it. So basically, we can you've got me for 2 hours instead of an hour. I'm not sure that's a good thing. You might think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, because I'll be very happy to do that. So, but we'll let you know as we proceed with that. And the live event is in Venice, and Chris has organized it all. She's running it all. There are lots of different interesting speakers, and of course then there's me. I mean, so that should be a really, really good event. And again, if you want to know anything at all about any of these things, if you want to sort of participate in any of these things, you can do one of two things. You can go to the website, and I'm sure there's a button you can click on there, which will take you straight to where you need to go to either book or to say, yeah, I want to participate, or you can email us. Rosemary, that's me. I don't need to spell it for you, do I? Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, and that email will, and just put in the subject line which of the activities you're interested in, and Chris will get back to you and let you know what it is you need to know. All right.
Did you want to mention your subscription program?
We are still working on the subscription program, but because I'm still got a croaky voice, I'm still coughing a bit. I tell you, on Tuesday, the weirdest thing happened on Tuesday to me. I have these really lovely big sliding glass doors. So I opened all the doors, and as I do almost every morning, especially now it's cooler weather, I opened all the doors and beautiful fresh air, everything. I turn around, I start to head towards the bathroom. I want to take a shower, and I start to sneeze, and then I sneeze again, and then I'm blowing my nose, and I'm telling you, this is not a pretty sight. Within minutes, my eyes were blown up, tearing. I couldn't move my head because it was nasty stuff. But anyway, so I'm thinking allergies. So I immediately turned around and closed the doors and went in the shower. And I was worse after I came out of the shower, and I was supposed to do consults on Tuesday, and there was no way. I mean, my sinuses were blown. Everything was a mess. So a friend of mine went and got me some Claritin. I took a pill, but it took until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon before that started working. And by 10 o'clock that night, it was back again. And then yesterday it was the same, not as bad, but it was the same. And I switched my consults, and I said to these lovely ladies, do you mind if we do it tomorrow? Because I'm no good today. So they did that. And they were brilliant. And even though I've got it today as well. I took a Claritin an hour ago, and I'm hoping it's going to clean up. But I don't suffer with allergies ever. So I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, whatever. It's clearing up. But it was so sudden and so fast. 1 minute I was fine. The next minute I was absolutely incapacitated. I just couldn't do a thing. It was awful. And my daughter suffers with allergies, and I was talking to her, and she's saying, yeah, it's really awful. And I bet there are a lot of you out there who suffer with allergies of one sort or another. So if anybody's got a great remedy, because I hate taking drugs. I know Claritin isn't quite a drug, but still I hate taking drugs of any kind. So if anybody out there has got a good remedy, I've never suffered from allergies before ever, but could it be that I hate to say this, could it be that I'm getting older, frailer, more susceptible to all of these things? Not likely. That's never, ever going to happen to me. I'm far too strong-minded for that. Anyway, here we go. Chris, is there anybody there?
Yes, we have many waiting in the wings.
Let's go.
Starting with some healing requests here. So Dean is saying his 15-and-a-half-year-old puppy is feeble, half deaf, blind, and yesterday stopped being able to go up the stairs and has much trouble standing. Is there any guidance for me on if she should be put to sleep?
Yes, there is. Okay. First of all, I've been in this exact position far too many times, and you all know I love dogs, and one of the reasons I won't get a dog anymore, and I'd love to have a puppy. Really love to have a puppy, but I'm far too old. And then, and you get a puppy, and then I die at some point. What are we going to do with the dog? Somebody else has to take responsibility for it, which is not fair. So as much as I really sincerely miss having puppies in my house, I just feel it would be irresponsible of me. As a dog owner, Dean, you know I love you. As a dog owner, we have to be responsible for our puppies, and we know when we get them that there's going to come a time. And if we're lucky, it can be 15, 16. I've even known a friend of mine that had a puppy at 17 years old. Whether it's then or whether it's 3 or 4, whatever happens to our puppies, we as owners, we have a responsibility. The dog cannot do a thing about it. The puppy is totally reliant on you as the owner. I know how sensitive you are, Dean, and I know that you will absolutely know the right time, which is, if it isn't right now, it's going to be very, very soon. And I think one of the most difficult, the hardest decisions we make as dog owners is, or cat owners, or whatever pets we have, the hardest decision is to say, okay, this is it, it's time. And I remember doing this with Cachorro, and I'm telling you, that puppy would have kept going for me. He just would have kept going, no matter how much pain he was in. He would, he just wouldn't give up. And I remember his last day, we spent the entire day in bed together. I was on the bed, he was on me. We spent the entire day together. And then later that day, it was during COVID, and we had to have a team come in, and they were all in white coats and all of that stuff. It was most heartbreaking moment, because I also knew that he would be the last puppy that I would have. And he'd been such a good friend to me. I think you already know the answer, Dean. But you're the owner, it's your responsibility. And you know, if he can't make it up the stairs, my darling, it's getting very close to the time when you're going to have to let him go. And he will be grateful to you for it. We cannot, as dog owners, watch our dogs suffer and do nothing about it. So I'm afraid, you know, it's looking like it's getting closer and closer. And you know, your loved ones in the spirit will be right there with you, sharing that moment. So it's tough, but if you don't want the responsibility, don't get a dog, don't get a cat, don't get a pet, because at some point that responsibility will come heavy on you. But you have to make the right decision, not for you. I know you don't want to let this little one go, of course you don't, but you have to make the right decision for the puppy, because that's your job. Chris.
Dean also has a request that his daughter's boyfriend is currently in surgery for a mass in the sinus, so is asking for healing.
Absolutely, we'll definitely do that. Please keep us posted on how well he does.
Gary says, "Good morning. Does it matter if you are buried or cremated after passing over? You look lovely this morning."
Hey, thank you. I always like the compliments. All right, thank you. I don't think it does matter, actually, Gary. I think because it's just the remains. Our body's done with. We're over it. We've had our use from it, and if we're lucky, it's been good to us. I mean, I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, saying, you know, of course, the body's getting older, getting more wrinkled, whatever, a little fatter, what have you. Yeah, we're getting old, but when I look at my body, I'm so grateful that I've got a body that supports me. I mean, I can still walk. I don't have to, I'm not using a walker yet. I'm as fit as I'm going to be for my age, and I feel great. I feel at least 10 years younger than I am, and I like to think I look 10 years younger than I am too, at least. But my preference when it's my turn is definitely, and I've told my daughter, who's the one who's going to be dealing with it all, just don't spend money on a coffin, please. That money was too hard earned, and it's only going to go in the fire, or it's only going to go in the ground and rot, whatever it is. So I'm happy with a cardboard box, or I'm happy with a pretty little urn that you can put the ashes in, because I want to be cremated, and then my daughter can. I've told her, do not keep them on the mantelpiece, because every time I visit, I'll see them and I'll think, ooh, what? Get rid of them. So scatter them across the water. Put them in a favorite place. My preference is probably to feed the roses. But it really doesn't matter. I think it matters more for the family, for people we love. It matters to them more than it matters to us, because once we're done with this physical body of ours, we take our etheric body, same shape, same size, but perfect. No illness, no, if for instance in this lifetime we might lose a limb or what have you, the etheric body is whole and well and able to travel, and we stay within our etheric body as we travel. So it really, I honestly think it's just your preference. But I'm happy for them to, put me in the incinerator. And here's another thing. Trust me, if they don't clean out the incinerator completely, you know that there are going to be other people's ashes mixed with mine. Do I care? Absolutely not, because I've had the use of this great body. And when I say great body, I don't mean, I don't mean gorgeous or anything like that. I mean, it's been strong for me, and it's supported me, and it's allowed me expression, so on and so forth. So but once I'm done with it, just, I don't care what happens to it. You can just dig it in the garden and leave it for the worms. It doesn't matter to me, because I know that I will be in a so much better place. Chris.
Shamanth says, my 6-year-old nephew, Niall, has been diagnosed as autistic. He is having learning and speech difficulty. Can Gray Eagle provide some guidance on the situation and how to heal or help him?
Okay, right. All right. So this is a tricky one, because there are lots of people who are diagnosed, lots of kids who are diagnosed with autism. Autism can be very mild or it can be very severe. I hate to label kids. What you have here is an unusual child. He's unique. He is different from others. Yes, he may need extra help with his speech, with his learning, but boy, what a beautifully spiritual child this is. And so my advice to anybody here with children who have issues is, don't look at their differences as defects. Look at their differences as special, unbelievable, and they are things that will enable us to learn. Because while you are giving him this attention helping him with his speech therapy and helping him with all of the other learning stuff that he's had struggling with. He is giving you the opportunity to learn and to grow and to be more of who you are. I'm going to suggest you lay your hands on him at least once a day and just ask God to give him healing. If you want to know more how to do that, go to my YouTube and you'll find there's lots of healing videos. I show people how to give healing. You can do it very quietly. You don't have to tell him what you're doing. You can do it just quietly. You can do it while he's in the bath. You can do it while you're reading him a story, and you can just gently, as you're rubbing his arms or stroking his hair, whatever it is, you're giving him healing. You need to just ask God to help you with this. But my feeling is here, Shamantha, that you have an unusual and incredible child. Not a defective child, but a child with very, very special gifts who is here to help you and to show you the way by your being able to have, you've got to learn patience, you've got to learn how to help him. And in that, you are being given the chance to grow and to learn and to become more of who you are. Chris.
Next one's from Tracy.
Okay.
Could Gray Eagle please tell her if I should go through the court or not? Thank you.
Oh, I wish we had time for this on the show, but this is a complicated situation. I can give you one piece of advice here, but I'm thinking you're a perfect candidate for a consultation or something, but I don't know how you'd feel about that, but to talk about this more in depth. But the one piece of advice I would give you is, my father would give it to me every time: before you step onto any battlefield, and going to court, trust me, is stepping onto a battlefield. Before you step onto any battlefield, step back and ask yourself this question: is this battle worth losing everything for, because it's something I desperately believe in? And so it won't matter if I'm killed on the battlefield, because I believe in this cause, I believe in this situation, whatever. But if it's an unimportant, in the scheme of things, an unimportant event that is not worth stepping onto the battlefield for, because once you step onto that battlefield, it's going to be rough. I'm telling you now, it's going to be rough. And, you're strong enough to do it. But honestly, what you have to ask yourself is this: is it actually worth it? If you're doing it out of bitterness or out of revenge, step back and think again. You need a warrior mind, a warrior, not worrier. You need a warrior mind. You need a fighter's mind. You need a soldier's mind. And my father would always, always remind me, if you don't mind dying for the cause, and the cause is that important to you, by all means get on that battlefield and fight like hell, and just do the best you can do. If you die, you die. If you don't win, you don't win. But at least you've fought. But if the cause is not that strong or not enough for you, or it's not that important, or you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because to fight for a cause is you fight for right and you fight for justice. So it has to be for the right reasons. And if you do it for the right reasons, if you feel that it's not worth it, do not get on that battlefield, because once you put a toe on that battlefield, you're in it. Win or lose, you are in it. So ask yourself, is the cause worth it? Is the cause worth it to me? Chris.
Mark says he's back from the cruise to the Bahamas. It was
Well,
fantastic.
Just hold on a second here, Mark. I have a bone to pick with you, right? I'm just saying, I was expecting you'd write to me and you'd tell me all this amazing stuff, and I was so looking forward to hearing from you. However, I'll forgive you because I think you were so busy and so filled with the joy and happiness. And so go on, keep going. I want to know how it better be really fantastic. I want to know how fantastic it was for you.
He says, as you said prior, that there would be some disappointments, but they were menial. The ocean and sights were amazing. I felt my mom and dad every day of my journey. Also, I'm going on another cruise to Barcelona in October.
Ooh, Barcelona. Barcelona. I love Barcelona. Um, in Barcelona, if you get the chance to stop, and the cruise ship stops in Barcelona, and it's very famous. Actually, in the town, in the center of Barcelona, there is an amazing market. I've forgotten what it's called now, but it's acres and acres of market, and they do food and different foods, and you can go in there and you get samples and so on, and you'll see very unusual and different foods. The people in there are great, and they sell so many different things. So if you get the chance, that's if I went to Barcelona, that I would head there first because they give you samples and it's just a great place. But I guess now I've got the hiccups. You've got the bug now, Mark. So I'm pleased for you. I think it's great. Chris.
The next is from Rhonda. I've attended 2 of the Gray Eagle sessions and cried through the whole session. So powerful, and I got a great message both times. Looking forward to attending again.
Oh, thank you so much. I cried both times, and people could be put off by that. What is she talking about? She cried both times, but it is so moving. It is so emotional. The wisdom that comes from Gregor, and then last year, the year before, I don't think Jesus was there present, or was I'm not sure. I have to think, but oh my goodness, it was. I mean, I had Chris here at the house helping to field questions. We had a friend of Chris's here who was doing the same from where she was. We had Mary Lou here, sitting here, listening to it all. And when we'd finished, of course, I was exhausted, and everybody around me was sobbing, and everybody was crying, right, Chris? You were all.
It was very touching, very, very touching.
It was a very emotional time. Thank you for that, my darling. We appreciate your input. Thank you, Chris.
Mark continued. On the ship while at sea, I had a visitor. A gold-black spotted dragonfly hovered over me and friends, and it landed on my sunglasses. It stayed with me a good 10 minutes. My friends were astonished and they asked, "Who is it?" And I said, "My dad." Question to Gray Eagle. With turmoil at airports, my flight to Barcelona, will my flights make it to Barcelona? Many have asked, and my trust in God and knowing Gray Eagle, do I need to make alternative plans?
Well, I think I would just stick to what you're doing, but it's your choice at the end of the day. But can we get back to Dragonfly? Because that's the most important thing for me, and how fortunate you are. And I was explaining this to some people when I was giving a consult a couple of weeks ago. Those in the spirit world. Now, you might have a bird come to you, or you might have a butterfly, and you'll say, "That's my dad," or "That's my dad." Let me be clear. The butterfly is not your dad. The dragonfly is not your dad. the little bird that comes tapping on the window is not your sister. Um, uh, but this is what happens. Those in the spirit world, and this is uh, a native expression I'm going to give to you. So um, those in the spirit world will reach out to native expression, those tiny winged creatures, small birds, butterflies, dragonflies, bees, whatever, all of that. Those in the spirit world will reach out and they will whisper to the dragonfly, or they will whisper to the butterfly, could you please take a message for me? Could you let them know I'm around? And those tiny winged creatures who we underestimate so much will hear the whisper of the spirit world on the wind, and they will come to us and stay with us. And basically what they're doing is they are messengers. Those tiny winged creatures are messengers for those in the spirit world to let us know that our loved ones are with us, that they're safe and they're well. Chris.
Then we have Healing in Everything responding to your question about what people do for allergies. And they say, I eat garlic or spicy soup to help clear it up.
Yeah, but the thing is that then let me tell you, when I eat spicy stuff, it just makes it worse. It doesn't actually clear it up, it just makes it worse. And I'm a great believer in garlic, and I like to take garlic every day. But this particular thing just got me, and my sinuses on the left side of my nose, and even now as I'm talking to you, I can feel my left eye just slightly closing up. If I become one-eyed Jack on this show, just know that it's my allergies are kicking in again. Anyway, but thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Sage says, good morning, and I hope you feel better.
Thank
My
you.
my son's 12-year-old friend Emery was killed in April, and
Uh,
today is her 13th birthday.
okay.
Does she have any messages for her parents or brother or friends? Thank you.
Um, okay. My feeling here is not sure how much time we have for that, and I know we're very short of time on this show. So I'm actually asking Grey Eagle this. I think if, maybe the parents would like to think about having a consultation, maybe we need more time for this. But I'm asking Grey Eagle, what should I say to all of you? And your son that is such a sensitive boy, and I know that he's taken this it's hard for him. So Grey Eagle is saying to me, to all of you out there, that she is safe. Okay. We hold her in our hands. We nurture her. We care for her. We love her. Try not to worry. Now, it's easy to say that to parents because parents are going to worry. But the only other way that I can suggest, I hate doing this because I always feel as if I'm touting the business, but I actually don't need to, because people come to me, you know, I, we're good. I don't, people come to me all the time, and they come twice, three times, five times, whatever. Some people come once a year to see me. But if you could find a good medium, I would warn you to be ultra careful, because they're very few and far between. But if you could find a good medium, or if you would like to have a consultation with me, then all you have to do is, again, email Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com and put in the subject line consultation, and we'll get you booked in. But I think that, and you've got to be so careful, because when especially parents, when they have lost a child, you are so vulnerable. And there's a tendency to believe, just because somebody says I'm a medium doesn't mean it's true. You've heard me, many of you have heard me say this before, and you're very vulnerable and you want it to work. The thing is, go in there. I will say to my clients, so, there are no guarantees, etc., etc. Who would you like to talk to in the spirit world? They might say mother, father, brother, sister, daughter, whatever. That is all the information we need to look for that one person. We don't need to know how they died. Hopefully, we're going to connect with that person. They're going to tell us, and then we're going to tell you. So please, make it a rule. You're not there to explain what happened, because so many people do that, and then it's turned around on them, and you walk away and you're really happy with the consult for all of 5 minutes, and then you start to realize, wait a minute, I told them all of that. So I always say to people, you need to be quiet. Say yes to me if you understand me, say no to me if you don't. I'm very strict on that rule. And so that would be my suggestion. But in the meantime, as Rachel has said, she is in our hands. And there can be no better place than that. Chris.
Carrie says, Rosemary, can you see if I have any medical issues? Thank you.
Who is this?
Carrie, Karey.
Okay. Well, darling, how irresponsible would it be of me? I've only, we got 2 seconds here, and I would want to look at you far more in depth. I would want to be talking to Grey Eagle. I would want to be talking to your family in the spirit world. I mean, I can easily say yes, because every single body on this planet has a medical issue of one sort or another, known or unknown. Because, some of us have a little bit of liver issues. Some of us have arthritis coming on. We don't even know about it yet, but as we get older, we're going to know about it. So there's not one fully, I don't believe there is one fully healthy human being on this planet. So if you're concerned, find a good doctor, get yourself checked out, or make an appointment with someone like me and see what they have to say to you. Chris.
Joy says, hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Joy.
My daughter moved away with my 2 grandsons, ages 11 and 6.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't imagine anything worse, but go ahead.
Can Grey Eagle tell me if they're even alive? It's been 1 year, 5 months since I've seen them.
Yes, they are. Give them time. They'll come back. Oh, my heart goes out to you, my darling. This has got to be the worst, the most horrible thing. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze, everybody. The thing is kicking in again. Sorry. But it's got to be the worst thing to lose your, whether it's your daughter-in-law, whoever it is, but to lose your grandchildren and to not have any connection with them is something that I simply can't imagine, because my grandson and I talk every day, and often a few times a day, and over the weekends he tells me all sorts of stuff, and cannot imagine. My heart goes out to you. So I'm going to be sending you healing, but I'm hearing Grey Eagle say, try to be patient. They will be back. So there's going to be a point, a time when you will see them again. In the meantime, my lovely, stay strong. Chris.
Healing and Everything says, I just had my left labral tear in my left leg repaired 3 weeks ago. I'm still walking with a walker. Will I be able to help people through the project I have been working on through this 1-year journey?
Uh, Without it, the answer is I don't even know what you're talking about, but Regal is saying to me, without a doubt, yes. However, I don't know if you're a young lady or a young man. I know that you're a lovely person, a lovely healer who has forgotten, excuse me, who has forgotten so easily the very first rule of being a healer. I teach my students this all the time. The very first rule of a healer is you, before you heal anyone else, you need to give healing to you, and you need to be selfish about that. And I think you have tended to put yourself to one side a lot of the time for other people. Now you've got no choice because you know, somebody in the spirit world decided we need to sit this girl down. We need to be, we need to be, you know, proactive in this process. So somehow or another, you've been given an opportunity, been given a chance to rest and to heal, and you need to take that on board if you want to be successful with anything else. So that's what you need to do. Sorry, I'm sniffling. Chris, keep going.
We don't have much longer to go.
Okay.
Let's see. Mark says he will look to go to the market. D says it's called Los Ramblas Market.
I don't
The
remember.
name of the market.
Okay, I'm glad someone knows. It's huge. It's a massive, massive, huge, amazing, fantastic. It's different than any market you'll ever go to, and the different foods they have, and of course everybody's offering you samples. So don't eat breakfast before you go. You won't want lunch by the time you're done there because you'll be eating samples. I had such a phenomenal experience. I was very fortunate in that I had a young man uh, um, who actually really liked me, and he took me there, and of course, speaking the language, he introduced me, and because you know they liked him, and then they therefore liked me. I was inundated. Of course, I was very young and very pretty too, which also helped. But I'm sure if you're old and decrepit like I'm becoming, I'm sure I would still get the samples. They would still give you the samples. It's a brilliant place to be.
Marisol says, first of all, thank you for everything. I would like you to tell me if you notice anything about my low energy that I've had for a while.
Um, well, I'd love to know what thank you for everything means because I'm not quite sure that I'm, excuse me, sorry, that I'm worthy of your thanks, but thank you anyway. And I think this requires a much longer conversation. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so unfortunately, I oh right, I get yeah, sure. I can suggest to you, and I would suggest to anyone who needs a bit of a boost or is low on energy or whatever, ginseng and royal jelly, and you buy it in a little bottle like this, little glass bottles. They usually come 25 in a box. You can get them on Amazon, but you can get them in any good Oriental store too. And there are lots of different things, remedies for, some say arthritis or so on. But I've been taking these for years, and I just get the regular one a day in the morning. Do not take them at night. They come with a little tiny straw. All it is natural ginseng and royal jelly, and they're amazing. When I travel, if I'm traveling, if I'm working and traveling, I will not go anywhere without them because they just lift my energy and they keep me up. So you might want to give those a go. Ginseng and royal jelly in a little glass bottle, and they come probably 25 or so in a box. Chris.
Shemant says, thank you, Rosemary, for such beautiful words of wisdom and a new perspective. It left me teary-eyed.
Oh,
Please,
darling.
please put my nephew Niall in your healing list.
Of
And
course.
thank you again.
Of course. But remember, such a special child. Chris.
Dean thinks your Princess House decanters on the shelf behind you need filling.
My what?
Princess House decanters on the shelf need filling.
I don't know what a Princess House decanter is.
I think the glass decanters behind you on the bookshelf.
Well, they're actually crystal, and they are actually very, very fine crystal, and I've had them for years and years and years and years. And you're absolutely right. They do need filling. So I'll get on it. I'm sorry to say, some of them are filled, but with vodka. So you can't necessarily see, they don't look filled, but you're absolutely right. I used to keep whiskey, brandy, rum. I don't drink whiskey personally, but I always used to keep it for everybody else. Whiskey, brandy, rum, vodka, whatever else. And they always looked great. And they, well, I still think they look great, but they are beautiful, beautiful, very, very fine crystal. They're my collection that I've been collecting for over all of the years. Since I was about 20 years old, I've been collecting these things, and they are pretty. They are lovely. Anyway, thank you for that. I don't know what Princess House is, but anyway, whatever. Chris.
Last question. This is Heather.
Okay.
She's sending love from Canada. Our country is in a mess. Are there any thoughts from Grey Eagle?
Well, honestly, Heather, I think that I think that pretty much anyone in any country in the world right now can say my country's in a mess. On a political level, I sent out a newsletter this week talking about the things that we should focus on. Instead of focusing on the negative, focusing on the positive. You might want to, if you are not a subscriber, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but I send a newsletter out once a month, or try to send one out once a month. And somebody actually wrote to me the other day about the newsletter saying what a fantastic perspective. I was able to put certain things in perspective, but honestly, wherever you go in the world right now, there is chaos, there is craziness. Unfortunately, there are so many people who are so negative, trying to destroy, trying to cause trouble. There are so many people who are trying their very best instead of, and please, all of you, don't take this wrong, okay? When we have a president or a prime minister or whatever, okay, you may not agree with what they do or what they say, but they are, while they're in that position, they are head of the country. And the very least we should be giving these people is respect. We may not believe what they say. We may not believe, that they're the right person. But if we truly believe that this great country of America, or my country in England, if we truly believe, as we should, in freedom of speech, freedom of choosing who we like and who we don't like, then those people who are aggravated because you prefer Trump over whoever else, to be honest, Camilla is not my favorite, but just saying. But is it Camilla? Whatever her name is, anyway. See, I can never remember the name of people I don't like. They go, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm entitled to my opinion. Other people are entitled to theirs. Be respectful of each other. You may not agree with who somebody has chosen to vote for, or who somebody has chosen to run the nursery school. You may not agree with the principal of your school, but you don't bring hatred upon them just because you don't agree with them. You bring respect, you bring understanding, you bring the benefit of the doubt, and you allow people to believe in what they want to believe in. And if you don't believe in that, instead of spitting out vitriol, instead of being mean, instead of trying to cause people to think that they're one way or another, instead of trying to sway people to your beliefs, there are decent, honest, honorable ways for you to deal with this. You work towards changing the things that you don't like without going on TV shows and being nasty and encouraging other people to be nasty and encouraging people to riot and encouraging people to be mean. You don't do that unless you are really, really loathsome human being. You teach people respect, and we hope that our politicians on both sides, we hope that the people who run our countries, we hope that despite their differing views, we hope that they're going to show us the way by being respectful, but arguing for their point without the vitriol, without the meanness, it's a horrible, horrible thing. When I turn on the TV and listen to this, I have to switch it off again, because I will not listen to meanness, and I will not listen to spitefulness, and I will not listen to people who dishonor the fact we are a free country, thank goodness, and each of us is entitled to our opinion. And if my opinion differs from yours, I will show respect to you. You are perfectly at liberty to say how you feel, but don't come screaming at me. Don't do nasty things. Don't go on a TV show and badmouth me because I happen to disagree with you. The world in general is so lacking in disrespect, so lacking in kindness. And I would say, and this is from Great Eagle, who always tells us, always, and those of you who have heard him speak, and those of you who know him well, you will always hear him say, your world, meaning our world and us as human beings, we have a job to teach our children how to be, not how we shouldn't be, but how to be. And Great Eagle teaches us, your world needs gentleness. And that means having respect for others. It means giving the benefit of the doubt, even if we absolutely disagree with what they're doing and what they're saying. There are ways to fight these things in a way that is not spiteful and doesn't cause people to get angry and doesn't cause rioting. And I think there are so many people in this world today who have a lot of money, and they take all these vulnerable people who are easy to rile up, and I think that people are being paid to do this. It's disgraceful, and it's such a shame, because when I look at this world and I look at my family, I only see beauty. I refuse to see the crassness and the meanness and the spitefulness of these people who are trying to bully us into thinking their way, whichever side of politics, whichever side of whatever it is you're looking at, people should not bully. And there's so much bullying going on at the moment, and there's so much meanness going on. And I think it's up to all of us to say, I choose to focus on the beauty. I choose to focus on the fact that that person is totally entitled to what they believe until they come yelling at me and causing my house to be in turmoil. Then I'll put a stop to it. But we need gentleness and we need kindness. And where is it? So, darling, when you ask the question, my country's in turmoil, I get it. But take a look at the world, because I don't think it's just your country. I think it's the world at large. And I think it's up to every one of us as individuals. You know, I can't remember which book that it's in, but I remember telling a story. And during this story, and through Grey Eagle and through his knowledge and through his amazing ability to his wisdom, it can take just one small voice to change the world. Now, I am a small voice. You guys, we're all a small voice. But imagine if collectively we decided, okay, enough of this bullying, enough of this meanness. We're going to create a movement of gentleness, and we're going to create a movement of kindness. We're going to create a movement of giving the benefit of the doubt. We're going to create a safe place for our children to grow. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to focus on. It takes but one small voice to change the world. I'm thinking in this moment, the voice of Jesus, who was one small voice, but he stood up to the bullies and he said no to the bullies, but he did it in a gentle way and a loving way and a caring way. He didn't spit vitriol and meanness and spite. He taught us in a gentle way. And he was that one small voice who, for however many centuries now, has been the voice in my head. And I couldn't have a better voice in my head, and I couldn't have a better teacher. And he changed the world. Look what he did. He changed the world. And he changes all of us who know him or who get to know him. And I think we just have to work towards being, as Grey Eagle said, we need to work to be more gentle, to be more tolerant, to be more loving, to give the benefit of the doubt, and to not get caught up in the vitriol, because it's very easy to get caught up in the vitriol and the meanness that is going on in our world right now. So my message is, be gentle. First to yourself. Love yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And then let that flow outward to all of the people you meet. And if somebody comes along and says, well, I don't agree with what you do, that it doesn't matter. He's entitled or she's entitled to her opinion. That's fine. Let it be. And simply say, well, you know, that's your opinion and this is mine, and I value that you have your opinion, and I have no argument with that, and I hope that you respect that I have my opinion, and I don't want any argument with that, and move forward. That's how things used to be, but boy, oh boy, there's so much hatred in the world today, and it's being caused deliberately by people who want to take control. That's as much as I'm saying about that. Anything else, Chris?
No,
Have I shut people up? Have I stopped traffic?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, all right. So, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you very much to Grey Eagle, of course. First and foremost, thanks to Chris. Thanks to all of you who join us. We'd love your opinions on things. Again, if you want to know any more about the event, so let's run it by us again. We're doing
On the 30th, you have Everything is Attitude.
right
On the
without
31st, right, you have your Halloween Spectacular cracking up.
spooks.
November 14th through 16th, you have your live event in Venice. And December 13th, you have Grey Eagle Speaks.
And there we have it. And if you want to know any more about that, again, I'm going to remind you, email us, rosemary@rosemaryltea.com. Put in the subject line. If it's all of the above, just say, I want to know everything. Or you might want to just say, I want to subscribe. It won't cost you anything, and you'll get a newsletter once a month, excuse me. No charge. That's fine. If you want to know anything more about anything else that we are doing, just again, email us, Rosemary Altea. Until I see you next time, please, everybody, have a very blessed rest of today and have a very blessed weekend, everybody. Bye bye.